There are some water bugs floating around in here, so those guys are going to feed them. Alright, so we're looking at just a water puddle right now, but there's actually a whole ecosystem that's specialized for this type of environment. Anybody want to take a wild guess? He already knows here about what type of animal y'all could find in here. Come on, somebody guess.
We have no ear.
I won't guess Pod.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard him too.
Well, you already heard. Fairy shrimp. We're not talking about Gulf Coast jumbos, you peel and eat them, but little tiny guys, they're related to brine shrimp or sea monkeys. You know, a lot of people get them and feed them to fish, or you know how you can order sea monkeys in the mail and get a desiccated packet. You dump it in water and boom, shrimp come out of nowhere. Well, that's kind of the same thing that goes on here, because obviously, this being Texas, we don't have water up here year-round. As a matter of fact, before yesterday, all these pools were completely dry. But you come back here in 2 or 3 days, you will see this place teeming with shrimp. Well, how that works is the shrimp hatch when it gets wet, and then they go through their life cycle, they breed, they lay eggs, and then the eggs have to dry out completely before they can hatch. Now some eggs do a wet hatch, but for the most part they have to dry out completely. Back in the 60s, a man I worked with up at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History came up here back when it was a private park owned by the Moss family, and they collected some soil from the top, took it back to Texas Tech, got it wet with some distilled water, and then shrimp hatched out. They then decided to play with it a little bit. They let them go through their life cycle, and then they dried out half the pan, and the other pan they left wet, and the pan they dried out, when they got it wet again, shrimp hatched, and the pan that stayed wet, very few shrimp hatched. So this is actually designed where they have to dry out to hatch. What that could be is kind of a generational stopgap so they aren't all hatched out, then it dries out, then everybody dies off, and you kill that population. But these guys are endemic to this type of environment. Like he just mentioned, down in Waco Tanks, which is a similar type of environment, you get fairy shrimp too. Also, elsewhere in the Llano Uplift on this granite, you'll find some more. But also up here, you can see it sticking out of this pool over here if we want to mosey this way. This is what we call a quillwort. 85% of the quillwort in the nation exists at the top of this rock. I think that's a quillwort. Quillwort. And it's an endemic species to this type of environment. They also have it at Stone Mountain in Georgia, as well as Waco Tanks and other granitic environments. And then there's black quillwort, which I believe only exists up here, but I'm not entirely sure on that.